feels empty now. The pain builds up inside. I tried so many times to imagine that you're here. Pretend you're coming back, pretend that you're still near, but it's no use now. You've moved on, but just remember this: you got a piece of my heart. So please remember me, my love. Don't ever wash away those tears we both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember you each day. And maybe one day you'll return with my broken heart. Another lonely day, another sleepless night. I wonder what you're feeling and who's now by your side. I wish I could have changed the way the story goes, rewrite my life with you, and whisper one more time, amore mio, ti amo. 'Cause it's not easy to move on while I'm still so lost in you. You've got a piece of my heart, so please remember me, my love. Don't ever wash away those tears we both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember you each day. And maybe one day you'll return with my broken heart. This heart of mine belongs to you. You're so deep inside my soul. When two hearts beat as one, don't ever let go. Baby, just remember this: so my heart. Remember my love. We both cried. And as we go our separate ways, I remember each day. One day you return with my heart someday. So please remember me, my love. Never wash away those tears we both cried. So never wash away those tears each day of my life. One day you return, you stay in my life. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, doo-doo-doo-doo. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright.
And hello everyone there in the world. Giada Valenti here in Las Vegas. 2 p.m. exactly 2:03. I see a lot of you appearing over there. How are you guys? Saturday, we made it the whole week. And hello also to the people on Instagram, if we are on Instagram also. So, guys, today we are cooking. We are cooking today here in Las Vegas, and you guys will be cooking either today with me or maybe later, because for me it's gonna be late lunch. For you in New York City, it's 5 p.m. So for you guys, it can be like a dinner for tonight if you're cooking what I'm cooking today. Of course, for you guys in Europe, sono le 23 di sera, quindi potete cucinare quello che cucino domani. 22 at night also for you. I saw Antonio and I saw I think Richard. I saw in England and Ireland it's 22 at night. I've learned that in Kenya, yesterday we had a friend that joined our Circle of Love, Ibrahim from Kenya, and I've learned that actually when Giada Live starts in Kenya it's midnight, so also 1 hour later than Italy, so almost time to go to bed. They should be already sleeping actually, but Ibrahim, he said he wanted to join us tonight again. And of course, amici in Australia, friends in Australia, good morning to you, because yes, it's early, so you can make still these things for lunch with me. Today, this is the time for today, we are cooking. This is why we are in the kitchen. You asked me to cook something with no carbs. Some of us, me included, we are on a diet. Me, because I have to fit to my outfit for the concert of next Friday. And you guys, because probably the summer is coming and we all want to fit in little smaller clothes. And with COVID-19, we've been at home probably too much. The gyms were all closed, swimming pool were closed. So hopefully now we can start to go around, but we have still to be very careful. So I cooked today lunch for me and for you to a new recipe, hopefully, or if you already know how to make it, something that has no carbs. You know that if you take away the carbs, you can add as much fat as you want, as long as you don't have a drop of carbs, you can do it. So no bread, no rice, not potatoes. If you add the potatoes, the rice, and the pasta, the fat will make you fat. If there is no carbs, you can have the fat. It's called the keto procedures. But of course, you have to do that, the keto diet, the keto, as they say in America, keto in Italian. You have to do it for a long time. Actually, I did it, I think, last year with Giada. We did it, and it works perfectly for us. We lost tons of weight. But of course, we avoid completely sugars and carbs. So if it's something you want to try, no pasta, no bread, no rice, no potatoes, and you can have as much fatty food that you want. Of course, stay away from the sugar as well. So today we cook something that I really like. I made a lot of time for me, especially when I'm singing and performing. As I told you, I was doing this keto diet and traveling the world. So every time I was coming back home from my touring, I come home. Of course, there is no time to go food shopping because most of the time I get home like 7:30, 8. I'm hungry, and so I made a lot of time this one, and then I put it in my freezer, and when I come back home, I take it out a few seconds in my microwave or in the oven, and it's like fresh homemade again. Actually, the recipe of today, it's very delicious and it's very easy. So I'm very happy today we're going to be cooking the veal roast with cream and spinach side dish, arrosto al forno con contorno di spinaci. I chose the spinach as a contorno. I do it a lot of time because I said the spinach has iron, and a lot of women, me included, and I know many of you watching have the same thing. We always have a deficit of iron, ferro, we call it in Italy, and of course spinach has a lot of it. So let's go through the ingredients for this very easy and delicious recipe. You need some veal, un pezzo di arrosto, here it is, of your own size. This is the size I chose for. Don't buy it too big or too thick because it's gonna take longer for you to cook in the oven, and you're gonna have the risk that it's gonna be not cooked in the middle. So normally I always ask the butcher to give me in macellaio a piece like this. So it's not too big, not too small. So and it will cook also all the way through. So we need veal, then we need some bacon. Here we go. Speck, we call it in Italy. I personally like this one that I can find at Trader Joe, which is, I'm reading here, is no sugar and uncured bacon. I like it because especially when I'm doing the diet, the keto diet, and I want to stay away from carbs, I don't have to have sugar. And unfortunately in the United States, not in Europe and in Italy as much, they put sugar in all the, in many foods that you buy at the supermarket. So make sure that wherever bacon you are buying, if you want to lose weight and have no carbs and still eat good food, make sure you buy this one. And it tastes good, it tastes very good actually. I really like also the taste and everything. So this is the one uncured and with no sugar, which supposed to be meat doesn't need sugar. So meat, the veal, the bacon, then you need of course some garlic, you need some we call it rosmarino in Italian, rosemary, dry or fresh, is up to you, salt, some peperoncino, you call it here red chili pepper, and some olive oil. This is all you need to make the roasted veal. For the side of today, I decided to have spinach, so you need fresh spinach, like this one. Fresh, I like the fresh one, but you can also use the one that you are already frozen if you prefer to buy those one. I like the fresh one. If you buy the fresh one, please wash them and dry them very well. Otherwise, it's going to be smooshy, and a lot of water in your thing. Still good, but it's going to take you longer to cook. And so spinach, 2 spoons of butter, and of course, for both recipe, we need some creme fraiche. Here it is. It's French. I like this one, the creme fraiche, the one is written creme fraiche, but I know you have also some other things, they are called cooking creams here in the United States. Panna in Italy, of course, la nostra panna. We are making today a roasted veal with side of spinaci, with spinaci as side dish, arrosto alla panna con contorno di spinaci. They are delicious, and of course it's easy to make because remember, I am a singer born and raised in Venice, Italy. I am not a chef, but I love to cook. I love to eat healthy food. So, and all my recipes are very easy. I'm always say, if I can cook, and I am a singer and I can cook it, so can you. And I must say that you guys are amazing because we've been together for 95 days. So every Saturday I've been cooking and you guys have made all my recipe, and for that I'm very, very grateful to you. And I must say, everything has been very successful. You've been telling me that the recipe were easy, and so let me know if for next Saturday you still want to go in this direction with the no carbs, or if you want me to go back to the pasta. You know, your wish is my command. I do wherever you want. So carbs, no carbs, and you know, actually we made a lot of things with carbs. Like, do you remember 2 weeks ago we made the shrimps and I made it with the gnocchi? Well, another way to go, and actually Janet Cessa did it, she's a smart lady too, my Italian signorina. You can make, especially if the sauce is big like that, you make the shrimps, and then in place of the pasta or the gnocchi or the rice, you just have some vegetable. And actually Janet did it with some steamed asparagus, and she said it was delicious. I've done it too. So tell me, JJ. Mia cugina Marta, un saluto alla mia cugina Marta che ci sta guardando da Venezia. Ciao Marta, come stai? Well, my cousin Marta, I call her Martina, she's watching us from Venice, Italy, of course, Portogruaro per essere più precisi, nella provincia di Venezia. Ciao Marta, un bacio, un abbraccio a tutti. Questa è una ricetta, this is actually a recipe, Marta, che mia mamma ha ricevuto dalla tua mamma, dalla zia Lali. This is actually funny that she's watching. This is a recipe that my mom told me, and she learned from my aunt Lali, the mother of my cousin Marta, who is watching. And my aunt Lali, she's an exceptionally great chef. She actually goes around cooking also in the northern of Italy. So she is a master in making all this kind of recipe. And actually this is una ricetta della zia Lali. This is a recipe of my aunt Lali. How nice that Marta was suddenly appearing. So guys, before we go to events, a birthday of the day, thanks to our dear friend Doug, we're doing while we're cooking some stuff. Let's start cooking. And if you want to watch episode because you said, oh, I like this one and I want to see more. I saw yesterday we had for the first time somebody from Kenya, Ibrahim, was watching. He said, I just joined the Circle of Love. I missed everything. You have missed nothing, Ibrahim. You can go on giada.life and you can watch all the 95 episodes at your own time. Giada Valenti here in Las Vegas, and today we are cooking. Of course, you can hear I'm Italian, born and raised in Venice, Italy. Today we cook this fantastic recipe. So let's start cooking, and while we are cooking, I'm going to the birthday and events of the day. So let's take our veal. Very easy. Here it is, my piece. As I said, I normally like to ask the butcher not to give me a very thick one. I like when also you guys on Instagram, when it's not super big, so it doesn't take a long time to cook, because you know me, I never have a lot of time. So you take a piece of veal and you take your salt and pepper. So of course you put some salt on your veal, just like this. You turn it around, you put a little bit more. You do the same thing with a little bit of pepper flake, paprika we call it. Here you call it red chili pepper, peperoncino in Italia. I put some here and I put some on the other side of my veal, of course. And very important, you take the rosemary. Rosemary, in Italy, of course, I have the fresh. I use the fresh one because my parents have them in the garden, and almost everybody in Italy has in the garden rosemary, oregano, and other kind of thing, basilico. So here in America, of course, I live in Las Vegas, and in my balcony with 103 degrees, which is 43 gradi Celsius, we cannot have anything growing in the house, you know. And I'm traveling, not much now, but no, I could actually now. We could have had JJ some fresh air because we've been home for 3 months. But anyway, we're not. So you take some of this rosemary, very important. With meat, rosemary is, we say in Italy, è la sua morte, is perfect. So you put some of this rosemary. I have the dry one here, but you can put the fresh one if you want. You put it all over the thing. Be generous with it. It's gonna give a nice taste to your veal. Here we go. So, and this time the fun starts. So you take your bacon. I told you make sure that you buy the one, I like the one uncured with no sugar, and you start to roll it around. Look at that. You take it, and can you see, guys? Actually, let me move this stuff from my front so you can see better. Let me move it here. So basically, you take your bacon, here it is, and voila, you put it on. I put it up so you can see, and you just to roll your bacon. So easy it is. You take another piece, you roll it around. So you know what is gonna happen when it's gonna be in the oven. It's gonna be delicious because the bacon, as you can see, has a lot of fat, and it smells delicious. And it's going to be giving the fat to your veal, which normally is kind of a very non-fat meat. So we take another piece, we roll it around, so easy it is. Voila. Last piece I like to take, you take another piece, and I like to put it in this direction to close the corner. Here we go. Since it's shorter, I'm going to do it twice. I'm going to put it on the bottom of my thing here, and I put it on the top. I push it a little bit under the edges of the previous one, so when it cooks, he won't come out. And here it is. You make like a sandwich of your little things. You guys, can you see? And I show you guys also here on Instagram. And you put it back on your little dish for the oven. Basically, when you're done like this, you take garlic. You know garlic. I take a piece of garlic, a smashed garlic, like this one, and I peel it off. Here it is, it's peeled off. You take a knife, and you just cut big chunks of garlic, and you put it on top of your garlic. A little bit on the bottom of your garlic, a little bit everywhere. So not inside your thing, because you don't want to eat it. You just want to have the taste of the garlic. So you put it in there. Everything, voila. A little bit also underneath. I have 2 pieces here. Let's mash this one too. By the way, this is a nice thing for mashing the garlic that I got from my friend Sadet. And it's great, because look, you put it inside and it peels off completely. So then you take a piece of garlic, take out the edges, they're not so good. In this case, you can put the edges too, because we are not gonna be eating the garlic. And you just put it all around your little veal. Voila. In the meantime, you put the oven at a temperature of, depends on your oven. Mine is not so warm, so I put it even 375. So what you normally cook, I don't know, if it's like mine, is an electric oven. It's 375 is a good temperature. If you have this size of veal, this one will cook throughout in, I would say, 40 minutes. So 40 minutes in the oven. Since the bacon has already a lot of fat and sauce will come out of this little thing, but I'm always say add a little bit of olive oil for the taste, just like this. And you know, olive oil is good for us. So actually, this is so easy. You put it in the oven. It's gonna be at 375, 380, depends on the temperature, for 40 minutes. If this is the size of your veal, in 40 minutes it's gonna be all brown and crusty on the bottom. And you can actually also, halfway the cooking time, you can turn it around if you wanna have it nice and crusty all the way. And you can take some of the sauce that will come out from the olive oil and the fat that is coming from the bacon, and you can put it on top of your little thing, so the juice goes a little bit inside, and it's gonna be delicious. So when this is cooked, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put this one in my oven, and it will be cooking for 40 minutes. We're not gonna be together with 40 minutes, so you know the drill. I made one yesterday, which I already show you in a second, is over here. And by the way, I made it, and when you have done it, JJ can show you how it's gonna be, the roll when it comes out after 40 minutes. You can see how it's gonna look like. It's gonna be nice and crusty and delicious. And there it is, the one I made yesterday. And you can see I cut it in pieces, and JJ comes back to me, and here is my veal cut it in pieces, here for the both of you, here. And you put it in something like this. For the moment, we put it on the side because we're gonna finish this recipe later, but let's start by making the side dish, the spinach. So, you wash your spinach throughout, and by the way, I use spinach because I told you I love them, and it goes well with the creamy, the panna that we're gonna put later, the creme fraiche, but you can do any kind of other vegetable. As I said, it's also delicious with potatoes, but potatoes have carbs, so if you wanna stay away from carbs, don't use the potatoes. So let's start to prepare our side dish, the spinach. By the way, I want to show you this because yesterday I received this one from Ronnie Manicotti, and I was laughing. Ronnie, can you read, guys, what is written? Yes, it's written, have yourself a merry little Christmas. So thank you, Ronnie. You're either early or late. So thank you, it's delicious. So around the holidays, we're gonna have already a kitchen towel to cook. I was laughing because I received it yesterday. So spinach, here we go. We take our spinach and we wash them, and we're gonna cut them in little pieces. In the meantime, we take the butter and we put it in here, voila. And we can put this little fellow on a lower temperature. I know, because you remember now, this is, normally I don't use this one. So, voila. So while the butter is melting, we are cutting the spinach that we previously washed, and we're gonna throw them in there. So here we go. So easy it is. Cut them as small as you want, and you put them in there. Here we go. Voila, voila, voila. And while those will be cooking, we're gonna be doing the birthday and the events. So, I don't know if you guys like spinach. I personally do love them. The only thing that, and is easy to make, because actually when I come back from my traveling, I show you in a second, I can freeze my veal, take out from the veal, and then while the veal is in the oven getting warm again, I can make the spinach, because look how fast this recipe is gonna be. I told you, if I can do it, you can surely do it too. So who will be doing this recipe? I'm just wondering. So here is my spinach. Let's move out these things from here. We put it in there. So to this spinach, the only thing that we need to do, and thank you also for the like and the share, you need to put only a little bit of salt. I like to add a little bit of peperoncino, you remember? The red flake pepper, even here. And we're gonna move them around like this one, because the butter is start to melt and the spinach will be cooking. So we move them around. And remember, they have a good source of iron. So I know Diane Fiorentino is watching, and she's just like me. She is always low in iron, so the spinach are good. So Reggie is asking me to move my glass. So this is a glass of water. I told you that starting in July, we will be drinking wine while cooking, as we are going to have an expert with wine, so we're going to have food and wine starting in July 1st. So while this one is cooking, I'll show you in a second what I do. It's gonna be cooking quite fast. You can put inside some of this creme fraiche, which I'm gonna do in a second. And what I like to do, we put in some of this one, the rest we're gonna put in our veal. We are making, by the way, veal in the oven with the side of spinach. This will be cooking throughout. Fire not too high, so they're not gonna be burned. Actually, they just have to, they don't really have to cook. They just need to get a little bit mushy. So it's butter. So remember, there is quite some fat in this recipe, so make sure you don't eat it with carbs, right? So while this is cooking, and it will take a few minutes, we are gonna be reading the birthday and the events of the day. Let's make the space.
Specific kind of veal or?
No, what is it called? Sirloin. Just a piece of meat that you like. I mean, you can do it also with any kind of other roasted meat that you normally like to cook. I like veal personally because it doesn't have much fat, and I like the taste of veal. But you can have even, I don't know, in Italy we have also arrosto di maiale, so it can be even a piece of pig roast. Of course, it's going to have a different taste. I really like this one. So while the spinach are cooking, we are going to do some of the events of the day, thanks to our friends Doug Hartline, you guys on Instagram too, while my spinach are cooking. And please remind me, guys, to watch my spinach. You don't want to burn them, right? Normally we are not supposed to do. My mom actually, they watched this episode. She doesn't speak English. She was wondering last week, I make you laugh, what I was reading. Because she said, you're reading while you're cooking. I told you nothing. You are supposed to keep an eye when you cook. I said, yeah, Ma, I need to do the birthday and event. So while we are doing this, I can keep an eye. Birthday and event today, June 20. Some amazing things happened today. Samuel Morse patents his telegraph. Yes, he was actually a painter, and it was while he was working on a painting out of Washington, D.C., that he received a letter from his father saying that his wife was very sick. So he immediately left and went back from Washington, D.C. to Connecticut, where they were living. But because of the time that the letters, that took the letters to go from one place to another, when he came back to Connecticut, his wife was already dead. So because of this, motivated by love, he decided that he needed to do something to speed the communication. So over an experimental line from Washington, D.C. to Baltimore, he sent today a message that was a phrase that was been suggested to him by Annie Ellsworth, which was a 17 young girl, and was a piece of the Bible, number 2323. And he recorded the message on a paper tape, and traveled successfully for 50 miles over experimental line between Washington, D.C. and Baltimore. The success of this experiment would change forever the national communication system. And guys, can you believe it? And now we can have a circle of love of all of us. You are so far away, I mean, from all over the world. And me, I'm here in Las Vegas, and you guys can see me, and you can cook together. We can cook together. This is kind of amazing. I keep an eye on my spinach as well. So, today in history, also 1837, Queen Victoria at 18 ascends the British throne following the death of her uncle King William IV. She ruled for 63 years until 1901. Amazing. And today in 1895, Caroline Willard Baldwin is the first woman in America to get a PhD from an American university. She got a PhD in science at the Cornell University. Caroline William Baldwin actually, she wrote a photographic study of the arc spectra we saw on the pictures before for the Physical Review Journal at Experimental Theoretical Physics. She was a smart cookie. 3 years earlier, actually, in 1892, she was also the first woman to receive a Bachelor in Science degree from the School of Mechanics at the University of California. And I'm very proud to say, though, that the first PhD for a woman in America came 217 years later. The first woman to ever receive that was 217 years prior, and it happened in Venice. We celebrated Elena Cornaro Piscopio's birthday, June the 5th, and she actually got in a few days, we're going to celebrate 342 years since the day that she got the first PhD on June 25th. And so Elena Cornaro Piscopia, of course, she's a celebrity in Venice, and she had a degree in psychology at the University of Padova, just like me. JJ is already on the next picture, so JJ, that's not the picture you're supposed to show now, because first we have to say that in 1909, the first balloon honeymoon, Roger Barnum, Boston sculptor, and Eleanor Werning, a writer from Brookshire, Massachusetts, took place ascending from Cape Cod, Massachusetts, and lasted for 4 hours. Doug was wondering, do you think Eleanor married Roger because he asked her if she would like to ride my beautiful balloon? Who knows? But I can tell you, actually, Doug, that it was a very successful marriage, because the picture that Jay just showed a second ago was taken in 1951, and there's Roger and Eleanor. You see, he has a sculpture and she was a writer. And look at the face of Roger. He's still so in love with her, and she's full of energy too. And they've been really the first couple to get married on the air, because they tried many times before, but of course the communication from the balloon and the guests on the ground was not possible. They changed the things. They actually used a radio, the radio of the time, and so the guests were on the ground with the priest, and through the radio communication, the priests on the ground were able to give the vows, and they said yes in the air, and they came down 4 hours later. So really, they were the first couple to get married in the air. And today, in 1948, Toast of the Town, hosted by Ed Sullivan, premieres on CBS TV. It was considered one of the top 50th greatest television show all the time. That's Ed Sullivan. And Ed would be responsible for so many famous moments, from Elvis Presley's first appearance on television to the Beatles, the British invasion. And on the debut show that happened today, Dean Martin and Jerry Lewis performed alongside with Rodgers and Hammerstein, who were previewing the score of their new musical that would hit Brothers the next year, South Pacific. And today, in 1975, the film Jaws, based on the book of Peter Benchley, is directed by Steven Spielberg, was released today. Doug said that he's always been intrigued by the music, that do 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 do. He said that there should have also lyrics like look out, look out, look out. I don't know, Doug and you guys at home, but there is a very interesting documentary that is entitled, let me see, Joe's The Inside Story, that you can find on Netflix, and it's about the making of this movie. The story is incredible. Actually, the success of the movie was the fact that the Joes never arrived in time, and when he arrived, they had delayed in making the Joes. When he arrived, they put it in the water, and only 2 days later, it was unusable because he rusted, because, you know, it was made of iron, water, you get the picture. So the movie went over budget, the actors couldn't stand each other, and they couldn't stand the director. Actually, Richard Dreyfuss was one of the actors, and he said at an interview, I think this young director will be the end of it, because he said he's horrible, he's delayed, he doesn't know how to handle the situation. He was not right, of course, because Steven Spielberg ended up becoming a major director, and the movie became a successful. Also because the actors had so much time to rewrite and rewrite and rewrite the script. And of course, not having the Joes with a do-do-do-do made the movie, because we all know, we start to scream, we know Joe is arriving. So funny story, watch the documentary, it's very, very interesting. And today, in 2014, The Jersey Boy, the film, is released. Clint Eastwood directed the film, which was based on the Tony Award-winning jukebox musical of the same name. And the original four-season band member Frankie Valli and Bob Gaudio served as executive producer. Of course, I love many of the songs Doug is saying, but my favorite is I Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, Me Too, and My Eyes Adore You. I never sang that one, but I surely do love that one. So in the meantime, before we go to the birthday, my spinach are as good as ready. Let me just higher the fire for a second so they can throughout cooked a little bit. So while the spinach are ready, I don't want to overcook them, so you can also make them and smash them like more of a cream. I'm gonna take this one out of my fires, because you're gonna see in a second what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna put this one aside, and we're gonna prepare the meat. So I'm gonna put this one here for a second. So I told you, this one stays in the oven for 40 minutes at a temperature of 375. This is, of course, the veal. And when you take it out, you cut it in pieces, you slice it in pieces. JJ will show you the picture. We slice the thing in pieces. And why is my thing doing this sound? You slice this in pieces and you put them in something like this one, and you're gonna add some of the cream. So let's put this one on the little stove that is making this funny noise. Put some of the juice that is on the bottom. You will find on the bottom of the tray that you cook it. You put some of here. You can see it's over there, and you add some of the creme fraiche. This is a super delicious recipe. As I told you, sometimes the veal is too big. So while this one is cooked, you add some of the cream. It's too big. You cook it all. You slice it in pieces. This is what I do. I froze it. This is my veal frozen, of course. Some leftover, some pieces of yesterday. I made 2 of those. I put it in the freezer. When I came home, I just warm it up. I make whatever side dish or vegetable I want to do, and I can have just a restaurant or make dinner, and it's ready. So the cream needs to cook a little bit here. So the panna, as we say, it's gone delicious. I hope you're gonna try this one because it's really one of my favorite recipe. Marta, my cousin, was watching, and this is a recipe of her mom, my zia Lalli. So let's let cream warm it up, and while we do that, we are just making roasted veal with a side of spinach, which are there made. And here we go with the birthday of today, Giada Valenti here in Las Vegas. So are you guys ready? June 20, 1909, thanks to Doug Hartline in California, in Sacramento. Earl Flynn, Australian actor, was born in Hobart, Tasmania, Australia, France, there he is, and achieved worldwide fame for his romantic movies on Hollywood. His role of Robin Hood made is the 80th greatest hero in American film history, and he was also a phenomenal dresser. I can agree with you, Doug. And today, in 1915, Vernon Van Meer, the grandfather of our dear Doug, was born today in Manilius, Illinois. This is a very special birthday. Look at that, that's Doug's grandfather. He was a USA Air Force veteran from World War II. Doug said that he was one of the greatest influence of his life. From him, he got the love from science and the love for music, and still that he will be forever grateful to his grandfather. So we are celebrating your grandfather today with a whole circle of love. So happy birthday to your grandfather up there in heaven. Thank you for sharing this with us. And today in 1928, Martin Landau, American actor, Mission Impossible, and Ed Wood, was born in Brooklyn. Let me lower the fire. Was born in Brooklyn, New York. He is an Oscar winner and was married to actress, 3-time Emmy winner Barbara Brain. The year I was born, Doug is saying. So which year were you born, Doug? The year when Barbara Brain won the Oscar. So guys, up to you to find out when. And they performed together and singing We Were Small, Martin and Barbara, and on one of the Eddie Williams show, and Doug said it's a beautiful performance on YouTube that makes you cry. And Doug had a wonderful opportunity to meet Barbara, who soon will turn 89, and he said she loves, like you, sunglasses. I can say that. She's very fancy still. My gosh, 89? She looks amazing, and I love those glasses. So, and today in 1933, we had this one last moment. Daniel Lewis Aiello Jr., Oscar-nominated American actor, the fifth of 6 children, was born today on the West 68th Street in Manhattan, New York, New York. Here's a picture also of Danny in one of my favorite movies, because he made appearances in so many movies, Moonstruck with Cher. And he also played the father in the video of Madonna, Papa Don't Preach. Do you remember? That was Danny in 1986. Of course, I do love that video, and my mom knows because I played the video all over again. I had the honor and the pleasure to meet Danny in a few occasions in New York City. He's an amazing man that unfortunately died last December suddenly, and we love you, Danny. So happy birthday to Danny in heaven. And today in 1942, Brian Wilson, American, let me turn my veal here. Voila. Turn your veal here and there so the cream goes inside your meat. And then we go back to our birthday. Here we go. It smells delicious, guys. I hope you guys could smell. So today in 1942, Brian Wilson, American singer and award-winning songwriter and producer from Beach Boys, was born in Inglewood, California. I got to meet him actually a couple of years back in Connecticut. Of course, I didn't take a picture, but he's really a genius and is considered the originator of the California sound in music and is ranked number 12 on the 100 greatest songwriters of all time. There is a film about his life that was made in 2014, Doug is saying, I haven't seen it, called Love and Mercy, and he wrote one of Susie's, Doug's wife, lovely wife and dear friend of mine, and the song, God only knows what you're here without, what I'll be without you, God only knows. I never sang that song, but it's a beautiful, beautiful song. Today in 1945, Canadian singer Anne Murray, I had this one myself, dear Doug, was born today in Spring in Nova Scotia. No, I have not met her, but I love one of her songs. She turns today, by the way, 73 years young. Look at her, still looking so gorgeous. And I love one of her songs, of course, You Needed Me. It's always in my concert. You needed me, you needed me. And we all need each other so much, right? And she won a Grammy in 1978 with that one. So happy birthday to Anne Murray. I love her. Almost at the end of the birthday, 1949, Lionel Richie was born in Tuskegee, Alabama, and turned 78. Wow, I didn't know it was from Alabama. I thought it was British at the beginning. But anyway, he's recording with the Commodores, and his solo career made him one of the most successful balladeers, I like this word, of the 1980s. Doug said that he personally loved his duet with Diana Ross, Endless Love. I do love that one too. Actually, I sang it with Filippo Voltaggio years ago when we did a show together. Beautiful, beautiful song. Me, I love them all. I couldn't choose only one. I really love Lionel Richie, his voice and everything. And today, last birthday of the day, 1967, Nicole Kidman, the gorgeous Nicole Kidman, was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, and turns 53 years young. She has won an Academy Award, 2 Emmy Awards, and 4 Golden Globes Awards, and has performed in musicals like Moulin Rouge, and she also sang one of my favorite songs, Doug is saying, Something Stupid. I love that one. With Robin Williams. Unfortunately, Doug is saying the producer decided to make a music video that somehow was R-rated, I remember, which is, in my humble opinion, Doug is saying, made the beautiful song lose some of her innocence. I agree. And one personal happy birthday to me. We had a grandfather of Doug, and today a dear friend of mine, Soraya van der Wereld, in Holland. She's in Tilburg. So happy birthday, dear Soraya, if you are watching. Soraya was a soldier, and we met each other in Verona, actually. We met at the air base in Verona when she was there for her service, and I was there to entertain the troops, and then we became friends, and she's now in Tilburg. So happy birthday, Soraya, van harte gefeliciteerd in Dutch. Tanti auguri di un felice, felice compleanno. Tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri a te, tanti auguri cara Soraya, tanti auguri a te. And many, 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 many more. So here we are actually in the kitchen. We are cooking today a veal roast with spinach. Look the sign for spinach. Spinach. You remember? This is the sign for spinach, like the papalo sealer man. You remember braccio di ferro, we call it. So there's the recipe. If you have missed it, you can go back to Giada Live and you can see all the ingredients. So here it is. We put some of the creams on my veal, and it's nice and warm. And now I can prepare the plates because my veal is gonna be ready. So I'm gonna take my plate here. And me and JJ, we're gonna have lunch. Guys, I wish you guys were here with me. That would have made the lunch spectacular, fantastic. But you guys are not here, so I'm gonna have a lunch by myself. So here we go. My oven here should stop, right? Does he? And voila. If it doesn't stop, that's how we do. We take the electricity out. So we take here some of the veal. Guys, I hope you're gonna make it because it's just delicious. And voila. You can put as much cream and stuff as you want. Some of the bacon will come out, actually, doesn't matter. So you put it like this. And some of the delicious juice on top of it. Guys, you have to smell this. The rosemary is out of this world. Of course, it's super delicious. You remember before, we made the spinach as a side dish because it has a lot of, remember, iron. So you're gonna put it in here next to your veal. JJ is already looking forward to his lunch. There is no carbs on this, there is fat, but I told you if you don't use carbs, you can have fat actually, as long as you don't have carbs and sugar. Of course, you know what I will say, you will need a piece of bread to clean the juice, and I agree with you, but we cannot do it because we say that we want to stay away from the carbs. So I'm going to give JJ his plate. JJ, can you take your plate from there? Buon appetito. JJ's taking his plate. That's the hand of the director. And here it's my plate. And of course, guys, I hope you enjoyed today lunch. I'm going to try I start with my vegetable, you know, and then we work our way up. They're just delicious and crunchy. Don't cook them too much, otherwise they will lose some of the proteins. It's delicious. Guys, I wish you were here with me. You see, the veal is so tender that you don't even need a knife to cut it. Look at here. There is the cream. You can do like that. You guys too. Melt in your mouth. It's delicious. So I'm gonna have my lunch, and I want to leave you with a joke. I'm gonna be seeing you tomorrow actually for our Sunday edition. We're gonna be doing something. So if you have questions, if you have comments, please let me know. Sunday edition, you know, is always a fun one. Soon we're gonna be singing also because we're gonna move the whole show to YouTube. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel and you tell all your friends, your neighbors, and everybody to come to YouTube. Of course, for the moment there is also Facebook, Periscope, and Twitch, and you guys there on Instagram. But of course we cannot sing and have music here on the social media, so we are working on moving on YouTube and have maybe the show live here, and then we go to YouTube and there we can sing. So make sure that you subscribe there on my YouTube, and you can leave me a comment. You're writing now there, I see all of you on the chat, but you can leave me a comment under the video, and please like the video and tell all your friends to join me on YouTube. And if you write a comments there, you know, you've seen the last day, I can answer back to all of you. Of course, you are all invited also to my concert with Daniel Emmett on June 26th. Please come. You don't have to travel. We are coming to you. It's a live streaming concert. Daniel and I will be going to the space here in Las Vegas, a beautiful theater with no audience, with 3 amazing musicians, Pablo Gada, David Ostrin, and we are directed by Jerry Williams, that is also the musical director of Donnie and Marie Osmond. And we will be playing for you a fantastic night of romantic music and duets and a lot of fun, because Daniel and I, we are good friends and we always have a good time. And of course, it's going to be the first time on stage after a long time. It's going to be very special and you don't want to miss it. There are 2 shows, one is at noon and one is at 6. The good thing is, please buy them both, because I'm gonna be different. At least my outfit will be different, and some of the song will be different too. So different outfit, different song, different story, different everything. The only thing that is gonna be the same is gonna be you sitting in front of the television watching us, and you guys can write comments. Then Daniel and I will be reading after the concert, and we will be able to answer to all of you. So you are gonna be telling us how much you like it or not, and which song is going to be your favorite. And please send us applause and love. We're going to miss you in the theater. Good thing, as I was saying, 2 shows. You can buy tickets for both, because even if you are not at home for the live things, you're going to see us live in the next 24 hours. The link, if you have to purchase the tickets in advance, so the day of the concert, before any of the concerts start, you have to have already your tickets. So please do that right now. You buy the tickets, and then you're gonna have 24 hours time to watch the concert. So you can make time for dinner, popcorns and wines, and decide to watch us, I don't know, 2 hours after the concert is finished, 4 hours later, as long as it's in between the 24 hours. Of course, that day there's not going to be Giada Live. It's going to be the 101st episode of Giada Live. By the 102nd, we're going to be together, and I hope all of you of the Circle of Love will be there to telling me what you thought about the concert. Maybe I can see if I can have Daniel join me, so you guys will be talking to us also the day after the concert. I'm going to have my lunch now with JJ, and I leave you with a joke that actually was told to me to Wes Roberts. He's been saying for weeks. Is JJ is Wes over there? Is Wes watching?
I think so.
So Wes, if you're watching, finally I'm taking your joke. I'm saying your joke. This is the joke that Wes told me. So there is a man driving on the highway on a very high speed and with his wife, and suddenly a 3-legged chicken is next to the car, and he even go faster than the car, and he passed the car. The man is driving, he can't believe he saw a 3-legged chicken that fast, even going faster than himself. So he follows at full speed the chicken turned to the left, he goes inside a farm, and he keeps following the chicken is gone, and he has arrived at the farm where the chicken went through. So the owner of the farm stepped out and he say, "Hello, sir, can I help you?" He said, "Well," he said, "I was driving with my wife and we saw a 3-legged chicken and he was so fast and he came here to your farm." The guy said, "I know, I'm raising 3-legged chicken." The guy can't believe his eyes. He said, "What?" He said, "Yes, I'm raising 3-legged chicken." 3-legged chicken? He said, "Why?" So, "Well, we are a family of 3. We all love chicken thighs, so we all want to have one. So the chicken normally have 2. I said, "Man, he can't believe the story." And he said, "And how do they taste?" And the farmer said, "Oh, I don't know. I've never been able to catch it." So this is the joke thanks to Wes Roberts, who apparently was a joke that was told somewhere by United States President and famous actor Ronald Reagan. I figured it out. So thank you for the joke, Wes. I hope you guys are laughing at home. And if you have another joke you want me to tell, just please let me know and I will tell the joke. I'm gonna be having this lunch together with JJ. I wanna thank you all for being with me. So remember again, today we made this delicious roasted veal with, this is the sign for meat for veal, with a side of spinach. Thanks to Diane Fiorentino that she's teaching me these things. So today we cooked a roasted veal with spinach, braccio di ferro, you remember the muscle? So I'm gonna have this one. I'm gonna have a nice lunch. I hope you guys are gonna make this recipe. If you make this recipe, please make sure to send me a pictures. And before I say goodbye, I wanna also leave you with a picture of these are the ingredients again. With the pictures, 2 days ago I went to the talking about food and I went to the Allegro restaurants at the Wynn Hotel to finally meet one of my guests. Do you remember one of my guests was amazing chef Enzo Fabraro? A couple of weeks ago you guys loved him. He's the executive chef at the Allegro restaurant at the Wynn. So I went there and I took a picture. So the restaurant was actually filled with people. Of course that's him, that's Enzo, and that's me. We are wearing masks like everybody, the Allegro restaurant. So the restaurant is open, and I had dessert only and coffee that night, but I had a nice chat with Enzo. Enzo is like my rock. He always gives me so much confidence, and he said that I have to believe in my potential. So thank you, coming from you, Enzo. It means the world to me. He's like my mentor, you know, not even for cooking, for everything. He just believes in me. Enzo, ti voglio bene. I love you. I leave you with another picture. As many of you were saying, Diane Fiorentino, the American Sign Language teacher of you, where is she? Here she is. You guys have never saw. This is one of the last pictures I took with Diane Fiorentino in the middle, and on the back there is Ella Beninato, which is also one of the supporters of this program. She just sent me also a donation, and that's us actually in Las Vegas at Caesar Palace just a few weeks before Las Vegas shut down. So thank you, Diane and Elena, for sending me this beautiful picture. Guys, I love you all. I'm gonna be seeing you all tomorrow. We're gonna be at the office again. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna have the food I cooked for myself today. And see you tomorrow. Ci vediamo domani qui da Las Vegas. Un abbraccio to all circle of love, e ci vediamo domani. Ciao.
Dankeschön, dear old Dankeschön. Thank you for seeing me again. Though I'm here in my solitude, I know you are there, and in my heart a smile again, and so I sing here in my solitude, waiting to see you, same time, same place, and I can't wait to say again, Dankeschön, 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 dear old Auf Wiedersehen. See you tomorrow. A domani.